In this session, I create a surreal reflection. The same process may be used to make realistic reflections because the transformation tools and sequence of their use are the same. To get the most out of this session, you should have seen all of the videos in this series. Thank you so much for joining us. In a previous session, you watched as I duplicated the main image, changed the hue and blend, and saved it as a new file. It's now time to bring that back and use it as a reflection. You can either copy and paste the reflection image back into a layer, or you can place it, File, Place, as a smart object. Then flip the layer vertically. In order to fit both the reflection and the main image on the same canvas, we have to enlarge the canvas. You do this under Image, Resize, Canvas. To be on the safe side, I'm going to double the height. Click the arrow off for the side that you do not want to expand. After flipping an image, the first transform we'll do on it is perspective. Perspective, image, transform, perspective. Now watch. Notice how the handles move in unison and the way they move. The next order of transformation is distort. Image, transform, distort. For reflections, it's important to use the center bottom handle and move it up toward the top. As you can see, this changes it from a flattened perspective to a three-dimensional foreshortened reflection. Since the reflection layer is on top, I do use its mask to blend the reflection layer into the one below. I want to get back to my perspective, but the handles are off the canvas. The only way to see those handles and use them is to zoom out until you see the handles on the canvas. I'm moving the reflection layer up. Now, if I want this to be a realistic reflection, I might skew those legs a little bit and match up the chair legs. But in this case, it's surreal, and I'm happy with the way it is. Next, I'm going to experiment to add to the character of the piece. I'm going to introduce you to the graduated fill tool. When you hold the Shift key down and draw a line with the graduated fill tool in any direction, the fill will go in that direction. It's really cool. You are already familiar with the marquee tool and filling that with color. Ultimately, I won't use these black and white backgrounds that I'm filling here. Instead, I'll use a gradient. I want a white to black, top to bottom graduated fill. With the graduated tool still selected, I click at the top, hold down the Shift key, and draw a straight line in the direction of fill. The crop tool takes custom settings so that you can crop your image to the exact ratio width to height. I like to use the info palette because it gives me pixel for pixel the exact dimensions for any area that I select with the marquee tool. Here I want a 3:2 ratio, height to width, to match Redbubble's specifications. Since width is the known variable and it's the smallest side, I divide it by 2/3 or 0.6667 to get the height. And now I just type in that 4859 result into the height for the crop tool. And there we have it. Now we have a custom crop. All you do is drag it down and then click OK. In the File menu, I check Save As and then select Ping before saving and renaming the file. By now, you know all about painting on masks to create blends instead of using the eraser. Here, I'm going to mask the vertical bar and blend in these two lines where they meet, and then I'll work a little more on the reflection. Digital artworks created by professionals should always have a signature and date, just like traditional artworks. I have a scanned signature file where I've dropped out the background. That's easier said than done. Next, you'll see how I use it. Drag the Marquee tool around the area where you want your signature to be. Then choose Paste into Selection. This just gives you more control over moving your signature. When cut out, scanned signatures are not always perfect. Sometimes they're a little fuzzy. I use Multiply on a medium to dark page and Screen on a lighter page to blend the signature in. I use the Text tool for the date layer. Either select the text itself or double-click the text layer, then change your settings at the top. Then click the Marquee tool. In order to move and scale the signature and date layers together, I link them. To link them, I select each layer with Shift-click and then use the Links icon in the Layers palette. You'll see the link next to each layer. Then I can scale them together and move them together. Very convenient. I just save the final file and we're done. Thanks so much for joining me for these sessions on Toolbar Basics for Photoshop Elements.